Hello everybody, it's time for video 4 here in week 1. This is going to be the last of my sort of training videos for how to navigate the online astronomy course. This is going to be approaching the human side of how we're going to interact and addressing any needs that you might have here in this coronavirus pandemic world. And just any needs that you might have in general. It doesn't have to be necessarily related to coronavirus and the fact that we are all online this semester. So let me pull up our slide deck for the quick video and let's get beginning. So this is Essential Astronomy Class Information, Part 3, the final of 3 parts. I'm going to talk about communication, how we can communicate with one another and how we'll engage in this class, and then just briefly touch on some student needs. Okay, so how do you approach engaging me, your professor, or really you can think of me as a guide for the semester? We don't have a time where we meet and we get in class, so you can't talk to me before class, you can't talk to me after class. My office hours on Zoom sessions instead of just an open door in the physics building. So how can you actually talk to me? And let's first address emailing. Emailing is going to be critically important for all of us this semester. And just because it makes my life so much easier, I am going to ask that when you email my UTK email, you don't have to do this if you send me a message on Canvas, but if you send something to slindsay@utk.edu, make sure that you put what class you are in the subject lines. So for example, if you're in Astronomy 152, put ASTR 152 or A152 or even 152 and I'll know what you're talking about. And then that way, I don't have to go shuffling through a whole bunch of different things. I actually know what class you're in. And hopefully I will learn where many of you are. But right now I have over 420 students. So it's going to take me a little while to get heads or tails over who belongs in which class. Okay, so now that email is out of the way, the primary way I would really like for us to communicate as a class is if you have a class question, if it's about policy or course material, I would prefer that you ask your question publicly on the appropriate Canvas discussion. And hopefully there will be the appropriate Canvas discussion. So questions about class policy, how do exams work, how do quizzes work, what's up with the homework, what's up with the extra credit, things like that. If you have questions about the policy, find the appropriate Canvas discussion and post it there. If you have questions about course material, trouble understanding a concept, difficulty with a homework question, maybe you just have a question that you want to engage with the material a little bit further than what we've talked about in class. You want a little bit more context. You want to know how this plays out in the real world, or you just want to know more about it. Find the weekly discussion about the course content and post it there. And the reason I asked you to do this is, one, it just makes it so I don't have to copy paste all the time and send a whole bunch of individualized emails. But really what I want to do is I want to encourage engagement. And if you have the question, some other students probably have the same question. And even if they don't, they might read it and be like, oh, I did have that question. So posting it publicly so we can all see it and then I can respond publicly. Or if a peer wants to jump in and help with one of the course concepts, peer-to-peer instruction, you might be able to give an explanation that makes more sense than I do because I'll be speaking from a more technical standpoint. Then it just will benefit everybody if we post these publicly. Also, if you're reading through, and I've highlighted this one in blue, and you see a question that you like and you would like to call attention to that, or that you're curious about as well, you can always upvote questions that are there by adding a like, and I will enable liking. So if I see something that has a whole lot of likes, I'll make sure I give that my full attention and put it on the high priority to answer thoroughly and in a timely manner. Now, if you do not feel comfortable publicly posting, it doesn't look like there's an anonymous discussion posting option for Canvas, or at least one that blends anonymous with non-anonymous. So if you're just uncomfortable publicly posting, that's perfectly fine. Just email me. I may ask if it's a question that I think other people could benefit from. I may ask if I keep your anonymity safe, and then I publicly post that on the appropriate discussion forum and answer it there. But then that way, everybody gets to benefit, and we feel like we're a cohesive class, and you get interaction with me, your instructor, which is where I hope a lot of the learning is going to happen. Now, there might not be the appropriate Canvas discussion. There might be a topic that you want to talk about that doesn't exist. If that's the case, email me, and I will create it. I will ask that you refrain from creating your own Canvas discussions because that can become a very, very big mess, kind of like Reddit's just a giant mess. And really, I've said a lot of this already. If you were not getting this impression, Canvas really, really is our hub of interaction. This is where you are going to get your student-instructor interaction and your student-student interaction. If you've already been engaged with the discussions, I'm very happy to see so many people have. You can see that I'm going through and I'm trying to make sure that your voices are heard. I'm trying to add material in. I have my TAs that in the class that are going to be going through as well. So this is a great way for you to interact with us and for you to interact with one another. I want to point out that participation in my discussions is not mandatory. I will never be grading it. It is highly encouraged and incentivized. And I've said this before, I think in one of the videos, I do not make it mandatory. I think coercion is a poor motivator. Just making a checkbox that you have to do just creates a grading nightmare, and it doesn't really promote a whole lot of things, and it's just difficult for all of us, especially whenever there are few of us to actually manage and do that well. There are ways to do that really well, but converting 4 classes to online in a hurry, I have not had the time to really build in that kind of structure, which usually takes years of experience. All right, so just again, participation is not mandatory, but it is highly encouraged and incentivized. And I do this with the whole 2-attempt quiz and exam policy. There will be those discussions that I hope you're going to engage with so you can get the material that you need. You can ask the questions to understand the concepts in this course, and you can keep asking me, and I can give you personalized feedback, and then everybody can see that feedback as well so they can benefit from it as well. And it'll allow us to push the boundaries of this course into something that's a little bit bigger than just our basic introductory course. It'll be a dive into the world of astronomy on a new level, as long as we are all participating. So participation goes up, then these become better and more useful for everybody. So please, please participate. Maybe if you're uncomfortable, give it a try just to see if it's something that you can start getting used to. And maybe it'll be something that you end up enjoying. Also, I must mention that there is one primary rule of the Canvas discussions, and that's be civil, courteous, and understanding of one another. This is supposed to be an environment that we all feel comfortable engaging in. I want people to feel like they can come here and ask questions without any fear that they're going to be bullied or people are going to go, well, that's a stupid question. So no shaming, no bullying, no laughing at other people if they have a question that you know the answer to. We're all coming from different backgrounds. We all have different skill sets. We're in a class. The goal of education is to learn. It's not to judge. So some people have strong science backgrounds, some people have weaker science backgrounds for a whole variety of reasons. I am here to help you get better. I am here to help you learn. I am not here to judge you. Hopefully everybody will feel a little bit more comfortable and excited about science by the time this is over. And we have to be civil, courteous, and understanding. We have to have that environment to really pull this one off. Now, there may be cases of extreme inappropriate behavior, things like sexism, racism, bullying, even making fun of one another. These will not be tolerated. Those comments will be removed at the moment that I see them, and you will have to have a discussion with me at the very minimum. Very, very clear violations of student conduct and definitely severe violations like sexism and racism, they're going straight to the student conduct office, and you will have to deal with them. So please avoid inappropriate behavior. We are all training to be professionals by coming to a university. Let's act like it. And I threw this one in just right before I started the video. Looking at the survey results, it looks like many of you were interested in a potential live chat option. And this is based on the responses you got. It was one of the things that a lot of you said that you would like to see or you think that you need to succeed in this course. So I am open to the idea, but I want to talk to you about it earnestly from my perspective. This is another moving part to the class, another thing that we'd have to log on to, the only external thing that we'd really have to log on to. And that means that it's going to require constant, a live sort of chat thing means that it'll need more constant monitoring on my part. it's really, really difficult for me to maintain and monitor such things. And it's going to also, whenever you have things that have private chat enabled and stuff like that, and just a live chat where it's not being monitored all the time, then it really opens the door for bad behavior and for people to build bad habits like sharing answers and things like that, clear violations of student honesty, clear cheating. So this is why I've been a little bit reluctant, and I didn't set one up before the semester started. But I am open to the idea, and the question would become what platform. My preference would be Slack. Familiar with that system, it's really powerful. We can share files, exchange images, things like that. It's really nice to break things out into channels, how they have it set up. So that would be my preference, but I know that it might not be everybody else's preference. I'm a slightly different generation, so I'm not up with all the live chat options that are out there. So if you do have strong feelings about this, right now my default is I will likely not enable this feature. I will be thinking about it all weekend because I can see a lot of potential good that's going to come out of this. So if you do have strong feelings about this, we do have the Canvas discussion, what is missing from this class? And that would be a place where I think you should go let me know if you really think that this is something that we should have. Make a post. If somebody already has a post saying that yes, you do like it and suggests a certain platform, then don't post again, just upvote it with a like. And then hopefully that'll give me more to chew on over the weekend and early next week so I can make a decision and we can get this started early in the class if we're going to do it. And I have one last slide. I just want to be very, very clear about this. For student needs, none of us really wanted this online world that we're in. This is harder on everybody. It's a heck of a lot more work for you. It's probably a lot more work. It's a lot more work for me. It's probably a lot more work for you. It's more difficult. There's so much more management. We're all a little bit more exhausted because everything's just a little bit harder. I would really love to be in the lecture hall with you. I love lecturing. I love having the face-to-face interactions. I love it when students ask me questions before class, during class, and after class. But this is not where we're living. We're in the coronavirus pandemic right now. Maintaining distance is the one thing that we can have control of to really help the situation. But this can create and exacerbate a lot of different problems out there. Technology needs, mental health needs, finances, time needs. We're short on everything. We're all a little extra stressed. And it doesn't just have to be coronavirus induced type things. Some people just have other things that are going on in their life. Maybe you have 2 jobs. Maybe you have a difficult family life. Maybe you have to manage kids and all these other things that can make success in a class difficult. That gets worse whenever you go to an online class. So if you have any concerns related to technology, mental health, finances, anything like that, something that you think would make it more difficult for you to succeed in this class, so negatively affect your success in this class, please let me know in a private communication. The earlier you let me know, the more I can help. It's the only way I can help is if I hear about this, and I am very, very empathetic, and hopefully you've already gotten the impression that I am here because I want you to succeed in this class. I'm really invested in all of you, and I want you to learn just in general, but I'd really like you to learn science and astronomy as well. So please contact me. Do that by private email. Of course, don't publicly post things like that. So I just want to let you know that I'm very aware of all those things. If you have any accommodations, also let me know. I am informed about those things. It's always good to hear from the people in person, and I'll make sure that those are in place for quizzes, exams, and everything else. All right, thank you for listening to all of these tutorial videos about how the class will work. Hopefully you can rewatch these and there will be little confusion about the class. But if there is confusion, make sure you go to the Canvas discussion and post so I can give you more information. All right, thanks everybody.